Okay, welcome back. On day 4, we are going to go through a dispute online. And the first thing we're going to go to is when you're on the website here, we need to pull up information, and I've already downloaded it, of where, and let me open this up, of the spreadsheets on here. And in this case, we have direct links here. You can download this as credit report steps. So I'll minimize that, but this will open up, and in this case, each one of the reports, TransUnion.com, Experian.com, and then Equifax.com, and you can get started to check your dispute. Now, once you've created a dispute, you will go through checking the status, but remember it takes 30 days. So all you have to really do is, in this case, we'll look at an Equifax one. My advice to everyone, and I don't do it all the time as well, is just read the screen. Most of the stuff will guide you through it in each sense. So the online dispute system here, we'll pull it up and you will fill out this information. And once you've filled out this information, you will continue, and it will ask you some questions about yourself, and you have your credit report with you, so therefore it'll ask things that are on your credit report that may or may not be there. Once you've gone through that section, it will then ask you what type of dispute you're looking for. So let's go through here. I'm going to blank it out for a second because of personal information, and I'll get you to the next step. Okay, so we've moved to the next step, and I'm not going to obviously answer these questions there, but what they'll do is ask you several questions that they found on your file. So it's good to have your file handy to make sure it's right. In this case, if you have a mortgage loan in '07, and then answer it. No, I did not, so there was none in the above, previous addresses you lived in, and so forth. And then once you've gone through and answered these questions correctly, it shall move you on. So hold on, a little pause, and then it'll move you into here, where your credit file you prefer to review and a current copy of the latest information. Now, there's some good things on this online dispute which will allow you to take some time, and this could be a long day for you because you may want to start off disputing certain items here. Let's say your personal information is incorrect. There's some differences in accounts. Negative information is not been paid or agreed, or inquiries onto your credit, and they remain for up to 2 years. Now, as we looked at that last lesson, the inquiry on your credit in that case, those were over 2 years, so you could actually go onto the online dispute section and go through it to find and show it where the inquiries were that they were over 2 years old. Now, in this case, I've clicked back here to show you a sample credit report again. This is a open-end credit report, and it's showing the differences: 60 days, 90 days late, 30 days again, and so forth on here. And notice it has been reported to all 3 crediting agencies. So therefore, if it's been reported to all 3 credit agencies, you have to dispute all 3 credit agencies. Now we've moved further down the credit report. This is a great sample credit report that I was borrowed. That's why I'm trying to not show the personal information here. But it shows, here's an inquiries. There's several inquiries on here, and they're dating back from 2010. And remember, they stay on your credit for 2 years. And then we've gone down to 2009, and we want to look at our date. Now, our date is over 2009, so these are easy to dispute, these last ones, because actually the day I'm doing this recording is October, so all of these on the credit report can easily be disputed and removed off of the credit report, and this is a big issue to help clean up. Remember, it's 10% of your credit score. All right, and then the next part of the credit report are creditors' contacts, and if you are writing letters to your creditors, sending those letters, or you are there's disputes on here and you need the information, or there's delinquent accounts that you want to negotiate the fill down, which we'll talk about that in a later episode of how to negotiate these down. Right here is the information that you will link up with that account to dispute each one of their actions. So what we have here is all of the places that have either inquired or in this case by mail only. Verizon does not have a phone number, neither does Sallie Mae or Tribute. Now Tribute, remember, was the credit card we were looking at. So therefore, if you're going to write a dispute letter to Tribute itself, you would have to mail that. You couldn't call up and negotiate any type of settlement, even though that bill was paid. This is where you would find that information onto the credit report itself. The section we talked about before on public information, notice nothing is reported here, so there were no bankruptcy, no child support payments, no arrests, any of those type of items. Above that, we have one other report that I would like to show you here. It's First National Bank, and notice that they've only reported this home equity line of credit for $35,000 to TransUnion. So therefore, if there was a discrepancy with this, and it looks like this is an okay account, you don't need to take this out here. There was, on your 7-year history here, there were no lates. This was 2 years worth of payments, but it was also here in 2003 and 2004. So just to clean up your credit report, you can inquire to have that removed. It was closed in 2004. That should probably be taken off of the credit report, just because even though it's positive, it's not doing anything to the credit report. It should be taken off because it's been over 7 years. So in this situation, we will go into inquiries so that you can inquire and have those removed from your credit, the ones that are over 7 years old. In this case, it shows the inquiries themselves, and right here you're allowed to dispute the items of inquiry on each one of them. Now some of these are coming up on 2 years, so those will be automatically removed, but ones that are a little bit older or a little bit newer, in this case Comcast in Chicago, this can be disputed that this was not allowed. You may not have signed anything to have it disputed. Information research, CPU, there's a perfect example where this is an inquiry that may not be part of this individual credit report. And household credit services. So make sure you go through this if you have a lot of inquiries in here, and you can dispute those items online. That's the best part about this. Now if you click the dispute item, verify ownership, either you select one reason, one, I did not authorize this inquiry, or this is a fraudulent inquiry. In this case, you may have to look up details of the item itself to make sure that what you put on there is correct. By then clicking that details tab, it's showing that it's a P.O. box out of Sacramento, California. If you know where this is, then you can inquire about it, the date of inquiry, to have it removed. If you know that there's been an inquiry into the report itself, then in that case you have to wait the 2 years. So obviously you'll have to wait it out before those inquiries are removed. But here's a perfect example of help to clean up your credit immediately off of inquiries themselves. Okay, so that's how you go through an Equifax online dispute. I believe on TransUnion's online dispute, you do the same thing. You could submit a dispute, check dispute status, or credit the dispute process. In this case, if you submit a dispute, and you can do it online, and we'll click the online tag again just to go through this, I'm sure that you will, this will either be the first time you're here or you're returning here for a dispute. Many of you, it will be your first time here, so therefore we'll have to run the report to find out your information. So you input this information into it, and we'll go from there. Once you've put in your information, you're going to create a username, password, your social security number, and to complete entering your information, then next you'll confirm your identity and then view the report. The next step it'll take you into is your service agreement here, and make sure you read the service agreement in detail. It's very important that you understand and read contracts before you sign them. Okay, that is extremely important. Now obviously it'll go through your order, which the price here is free, and you'll have an order number. There you'll notice that you get to submit a dispute section. Go ahead and click through that. It'll show your file number and your email address. You'll then move into terms and policies to agree to the contract. Make sure you read this in detail. Check each one of these boxes. Move to agreed. Oops, I missed the box. If you miss a box, it will let you know. I accept the online delivery results system, which I do. And then you will enter your personal information for verification. Now on TransUnion reports, we are looking at inquiries themselves, and notice here this is promotional inquiries, which means these companies looked at your information for promotion, but it did not affect your credit score. But here's quite a few: AIG, American Insurance, GE Money, Security Financial, even things like Fingerhut Direct Marketing and AT&T Services. Now this is important to know because you can put a freeze on this as well so that there can be no inquiries on it. Now it doesn't affect your credit individually, but you wonder where you get pre-approved offers. And you know, some people get denied for credit from insurance companies and so forth, and this could be why, because they are taking a soft inquiry onto your credit. Further down, there's the other inquiries that you can look into, and then a consumer statement, which I talk about in the other class, where you can make a statement explaining things that are on your credit report or things that are being disputed. So if you run your credit report, a credit grantor will be able to see this information that you put onto the credit report that may or may not explain some information that's on your credit report. It doesn't raise your points, but it allows for an explanation. Now once you have submitted those disputes, follow each one of the directions. It may take up to 45 days to check back on those disputes. If you are not satisfied with the online dispute process, because it really doesn't give you too many options to choose from or to explain itself or to even include information to defend yourself, it's important that you come back to that and make those corrections at the time. Okay, so welcome to day 4, your online disputes. This may take you a couple of days, but I think it is well worth it. It'll speed up your process if you don't like doing the paper trail, but it is the beginning. Now I know it takes 45 days, but this is day 4, so the sooner you get these going, the sooner you can get your credit cleared up. Thanks, and I will see you tomorrow.